A man always smells a strange smell next to him when he is eating. Look down. Discover. A mutilated body appeared inexplicably under my feet. This is the new horror film I'm going to talk about in this issue. Latin America. Friendly reminder that some of today's issues are not suitable for children. So friends who are under 18 years old, please watch with the company of your parents. Recently I heard that Texas is clamoring for independence there. And today's story takes place in this place. Early one morning, El Paso, Texas, USA. Local police found a hiding place for stowaways, but when I came in, I found that everyone inside was dead. The cause of death was almost always a gunshot wound to the head or a cut throat. Then they saw someone raise their arms, and this scene, it also successfully triggered the police's muscle memory, until I saw the chains on my arms. There is a man locked at the other end of the chain. In order to escape, this man, he even hesitated to cut off his own hand. But in the end he was taken back to the police station. Chapter 1 The Traveler's Action. A total of 27 dead people were found. The man who cuts off his own hand is the only one left alive. His name is Juan Garcia. But he prefers others to call him Traveler. It turned out that he was going to attend his sister's wedding. That's why I chose to sneak across. It was the local coyote gang who brought people in. But they were attacked by gangs on the way. Juan emphasized that he had not committed any crime. I am also a victim. He will assist the police in investigating as much as possible, but after the investigation, please let him go as soon as possible, because if he is still here in 90 minutes, everyone in the police station must die. In fact, I think if he didn't say that, the chance of being let go may be greater. The police then showed him photos of the scene. But only one of the dead seemed familiar to him, but he wasn't sure if what he saw was a person or a ghost. Juan's words left the police officer a little confused. At the same time this topic, it also reminded Juan of another guy he met in Argentina. The other party's name is Gustavo. He claims that he can always see things that others cannot see. I also saw the second picture. Room door. Gustavo was gesticulating back and forth with his mobile phone flashlight. After the end, then he asked the delivery boy next to him if he had seen anything. It turns out that he accidentally discovered, every time I finish this gesture, strange sights will appear on the other side. Only. It seems that only he can see this scene. Gus's unique skill is to reconstruct the Rubik's Cube. The fastest record is only 2 seconds away from the World Championship. So this day, his sister signed him up for a competition in Japan. It is said that as long as you enter the top 10, there is a prize of $8,000 and $8,000. That's a lot of money in Argentina. Sister wants Gus to walk out of the room, go outside more often. It's better to sell the house. Leave this country, because my sister feels, the house my grandma left behind is extremely depressing. He was afraid that Gus would be affected if he stayed in there for too long. But Gus himself was very interested in the house. Especially, you can see things inside that others can't see. In order to understand the principle, Gus found it specially, a blogger who studies paranormal phenomena, and invite the other person to come to your home to witness the magical phenomenon. As soon as the blogger entered the house that night, I noticed that the temperature in the house was abnormal, and Gus also told the blogger, the phenomenon he is going to demonstrate next, unable to shoot with device, can only be observed through the eyes. After the first demonstration, the blogger didn't see anything. But he had a bad feeling. But when Gus continued to demonstrate, the blogger actually saw an old woman passing by. It's obvious that the bloggers know each other. Then he made a phone call and left in a hurry. Gus's house stayed like this until the next night. The blogger's phone number is always unreachable. Gus suspected that the blogger might have been too scared to come. Then he agreed to his sister's proposal. Prepare to go to Japan to participate in the Rubik's Cube competition. Whole night, he can smell a strange smell next to him. I searched and searched but still couldn't find the source of the smell, until he lowered his head and looked at his feet. The opponent's limbs are severely mutilated. He kept asking for help. It's just that Gus's finger was accidentally broken when he fell, so much so that he didn't even have the heart to listen to this. However, when he went over to check with a kitchen knife, but the other party has completely stopped responding. Gus then injured his finger, and the corpse that appeared inexplicably. I took a photo and sent it to my sister. Tell my sister that the Rubik's Cube competition is definitely out of the question. At this time, the supernatural blogger took the initiative to come to the door. He wanted Gus to be like he was yesterday. Use a flashlight to demonstrate the operation again. It turns out that when Gus was demonstrating the night before, he saw his mother here. At first the blogger thought it was magic, so I immediately gave it to my mother who was living in a nursing home. Made a call. But no one answered the phone. That's why he left here in a hurry yesterday. But when he arrived at the nursing home, his mother was dead in the room. The blogger suspected that his mother might have something to say to him, so I came back. I hope Gus can demonstrate what he did yesterday again. Unfortunately, it was Gus' good hand that was injured just now. There is no way to complete the demonstration if I use another one. Gus felt that the operation was like some kind of formula, just like putting together a puzzle or solving a Rubik's Cube. Formula algorithm appeared in my mind out of thin air. The blogger is skeptical. That might be the key to opening the door to another world. At this time, there is a noise from downstairs. Go downstairs to check. That body has crawled to another room. However, when the blogger went up and lifted the blanket, discovered that the other party was actually his recently deceased mother. But Gus noticed something strange. Because in his eyes, this mutilated body, it's obviously his father. The scene when he was run over by a train, he doesn't understand. Why do I see it differently from what the blogger sees? Gus doubts. This must be related to the set of formulas and algorithms in my mind. I may have inadvertently opened the door to another world. To fix it all, he endured the pain. Use your injured hand to perform that operation. Result. This time, the blogger and the body disappeared together. But at the same time, a large number of human internal organs appeared in the room. And judging from the bloody clothes, these internal organs appear out of thin air. They should all be in the blogger's body. Gus couldn't accept the scene before him. My sister also happened to call at this time. My sister doesn't understand what's in the photo Gus just sent. Why do you make yourself covered in blood? Heard this, Gus also had a question mark on his face, because in Gus' eyes, that body, it was the scene when their father was run over by a train, but in my sister's opinion, that man is Gus. It turns out that everyone sees it differently. Then Gus suddenly discovered a self covered in blood. I am gesturing around the house with a flashlight. And this is just the beginning. When he was demonstrating to the delivery boy, it turns out that Gusby completed this operation. The vision he saw was himself. But at this time, it seems that he is no longer in the original world. That's all we know about Gustavo Juan. After comparing the appearance, the police discovered that Juan had multiple identities. First in 1996, he has been caught stealing and traffic violations. And match, second identity, although the names are different, but it's really him who looks like him. And the weird thing is that this photo was taken in 1982. Theoretically, he should have been a child at the time. Or just born. But in the photo, it's no different than now. Of course it's more than that. Police also found a record of his life in 1973. And in this file, he died in a car accident in 1997. But the reality is, he is sitting in the interrogation room alive at this time. The policeman asked him what was going on, why in the past few decades, he will have so many different identities. Why is he already dead in the records? But in reality he is still alive. Then Juan told them, claiming that he actually has immortality. Heard this, interrogating police officer. I laughed out loud uncontrollably. However, Juan said that if you don't believe it, you can shoot me in the head. Of course the police want to do this, but the reality that can be seen is that, the hand he cut when he was arrested, at this time, it has miraculously recovered to its original state. Not even a scar left. Juan then revealed his true identity. It turns out his real name is Mitralihut. From Tenochtitlan, that was the capital of the Aztec Empire 542 years ago. The Aztecs mentioned here. It actually happened in history. It existed in Mexico from the 14th to 16th centuries. Along with the Inca and Maya, they are also known as the three major civilizations in Central and South America. The interrogating police officers were not interested in the history. At the same time, they can believe that there is real immortality, to prove that I am not an ordinary person. Juan mentioned a very special serial murder case. The blood of all the victims in the case was drained. The police have yet to find the murderer. Juan says he knows who the murderer is. Chapter 3. The floor is full of vampire bars. The corpse and the murderer drank the blood arrogantly. It turns out the night before was Halloween. At the same time, there is only this day in the year. Vampires can come out to look for food without disguise. Even being seen does not arouse suspicion. Then my lover Maribel called. Remind him to get back before dawn, because of seasonal changes. Sunrise is an hour earlier than expected, therefore, it is still far from dawn, only 15 minutes left at most. Considering that I can't drive, the skill of transforming into a bat is almost useless. At the critical moment, someone happened to drive by on a scooter. I just didn't go far after snatching the car. I was teased with eggs by some teenagers dressed as clowns. Seeing your favorite shirt stained, the vampire was instantly overwhelmed with rage. He blocked the three of them in a dead end. Then he tore off their arms, dig out their hearts. The last one tried to fight back. Then the head was taken off. Just then a patrol officer happened to pass by. Look at this bloody scene. The patrolman thought these were Halloween props. He even took the initiative to take a photo with him. I thought the red liquid was just prop syrup. I accidentally took a bite. Only then did I realize that this was real blood. Identity revealed. The vampire plans to control the patrolman with his mind, but he can only control one at the same time. Na then had no choice but to run away. To avoid police pursuit, the vampire found a random door and hid in it. After entering, I discovered that it was actually a church. And his body was ignited in an instant. It's almost dawn. There are police cars nearby. To save life, he has always been a macho man. He was finally willing to lower his head and beg his lover to come and save him. Soon my lover arrived by car, but he didn't go far down the street. Just happened to catch up with the morning rush hour. I looked at the intersection and it was blocked by water. The sky will soon be bright. In desperation, they abandoned the car and hid in a nearby trash can. It's just that this kind of box can't block sunlight at all. Finally, their love story is framed here. As for being burned by the sun, the remaining 2 skeletons is regarded as after Halloween. Discarded horror props. Listening to the stories, each story is more outrageous than the last. The police officers were also a little impatient. Then they were in Juan's personal belongings. Found a lot of weird things. And this little bottle in it. It also successfully attracted their attention, because the liquid inside looks like blood. In fact, Juan himself didn't know what was inside. I heard that they are from the local Nahua tribe in Mexico. Props used in ceremonies. I just picked this up after the ceremony. Hope it brings good luck. That's all. Chapter 4 Nahua Nation Catemaco, Mexico. Famous man, dragging a female corpse into the cabin of his manor. Coincidentally, this scene happened to be seen by someone. Then he received a call from the CIA. It turns out that he is cooperating with the other party, trying to bring down their local political leaders. The reason is that their political leader El Salvador, in the drug trade, killed American people, and the man's family. They all died in that massacre. Men can provide useful information in return. The CIA promises tomorrow at 6 p.m. someone will come and pick him up. It's just that his actions have been discovered. He then ran out of the house with a shotgun, but I found out after I came out, there is more than one person guarding him, trying to resist during. In the end, he couldn't even resist a single move. He was knocked unconscious by the other party. When wake up again, the man has been dragged deep into the woods, and the surrounding scenes are also obvious. It's about performing some kind of ritual. It turns out they have known each other for a long time. Previously, the man once planned to use the power of animal spirits to take revenge. But the reality is obviously different from what he imagined. Because calling means sacrificing. Sacrifice requires sacrifices, and he himself is actually the sacrifice. The witch then used a magic weapon to slit the man's throat. And their bodies. There was a change immediately. Eyes covered in black. The skin also begins to swell, until they tear off the original skin. It was replaced by a beast-like face. As for the small bottle mentioned earlier, it had been hanging on the witch's chest until now, and at the end of the ceremony, the witch drank the liquid directly. That night, the witch and her followers came to the hut in the man's manor. That's where the man in front hid his body. There is an altar in the hut, and the corpses inside are all members of the witch's tribe. It turns out that the man has been secretly hunting the Nahua people, and take the body back to the cabin. It seems to be to complete some kind of ritual. The purpose is most likely the one mentioned earlier, in order to obtain the power of the beast spirit. So looking at it this way, the witch offered him as a sacrifice. It is not difficult to understand. After listening to the story, the police officer was very speechless, because they just want to know what's in the bottle. As a result, one said a lot. They didn't understand a word. Actually, I didn't quite understand this part. Among these personal belongings, there is a special bullet. Suddenly said this is a sacred bullet. Sawdust wrapped with a cross inside, iron for epidermis. Forged from the same nail that nailed Jesus. It is said to kill anything evil. But the gun that could fire him has long been lost. Juan told them, those who are chasing him are the saints of death. It's a group of people from Colombia. Saint of BA, these people will make you despair. Reach out when you need help. Of course you have to pay for it. It turned out that a long time ago, Juan is already married and has children. But one day, his wife and children were chosen as sacrifices. To save the family, Juan made a deal with the saints. That means exchanging 1's own life. However, on the day of the ceremony, Juan chose to run away because he was afraid of death. So in the next few hundred years, he has been hunted by saints of death. And the reason why he can survive until now, it's also because I keep changing places. The other party can't keep up with him, but now he is locked up in the police station. The saint of death should come to your door soon. However, only this sacred bullet can kill the opponent. But it's a pity, able to fire his gun. Lost as early as 80 years ago. In fact, the female police officer has always felt. The patterns on the sacred bullets look familiar, but I can't remember where I saw it. Until he opened the drawer of the government cabinet. Turn out to be This is the pistol used to fire the sacred bullets. I heard it was many years ago, brought back from the crime scene by the police during their investigation. It has a name called Holy Killer. It's a weapon designed to kill saints, but the current situation is, it is impossible for the police to take a pistol as evidence. Hand over to suspect. One had a premonition that today might be the day he died, and this also reminded him of Malcolm's experience. Chapter 5. One evening, ex-girlfriend unexpectedly asks Malcolm to have dinner. Location chosen. It was still the same restaurant where the two of them broke up. While chatting, my ex-girlfriend accidentally mentioned several of their mutual friends. But Malcolm expressed doubts. Several of them are already dead. You do not know. It turns out not long ago, they both went with some friends. Havana, Cuba, over there. They watched an ancient local ritual. Originally the ceremony was supposed to be confidential, but in order to make a documentary, Malcolm, he secretly recorded the sound of the scene. He didn't take it to heart at first, because he felt that those rituals were all mysteries. Until my friends died one after another, he finally realized, the act of recording oneself may have violated a taboo. He suspected that he had awakened a demon. And there may be more than one awakened. This is a group photo they took at that time. In the photo, my friend Gus is wearing a red shirt. And red is the color of the fire demon hit. As a result, he was burned alive in a fire a few days later. Carol's hair is blowing in the wind in the photo. Simbabra is the devil who controls the wind. Then he was found dead in a hurricane. In the middle of the photo, my friend Ed is covering his crotch with one hand. Malcolm feeling, he caused it. It should be Yora, the demon in charge of human happiness. Because his body was broken while having his hair done, got stuck on the ceiling. As for the last friend in the photo, Miguel. He died a week ago. And Malcolm was there. My ex-girlfriend suggested that the recording should be burned as soon as possible. However, Malcolm has already tried these methods. It's no use at all, because whether it is thrown away or burned, when you turn around, the recording will come back intact. And there are still huge hidden dangers in this matter, because anyone who listens to the recording will be haunted by demons. So if someone puts the recording online and makes it public, the consequences would be disastrous. According to the order in which the companions died in the group photo, the next person to die should be my ex-girlfriend. Exactly. My ex-girlfriend should be dead by now, because this restaurant belongs to him. Our favorite place to go on dates. But it was closed a few years ago. My ex-girlfriend knows about this. So Malcolm concluded, the person sitting across from you is definitely not your ex-girlfriend. According to characteristics, he suspected that the other party was the legendary zombie king. Zambia restaurant and other guests here. They should all be illusions too. It was discovered that the identity had been revealed. The devil no longer pretends. Originally a lively restaurant. In an instant, he returned to his real appearance. As for why Malcolm knew there was a fraud, still come for an appointment. That's because he was prepared. However, after a random shooting, the other party just showed his true colors. There is no damage to the body at all. Turn out to be. Human weapons can't hurt demons at all. See, Malcolm brought the recording. The devil plans to make it public, because everyone who listens to the recording, they will all be haunted by demons. The more people hear it, the more demons will be released. In this way, he can come out of hell, unleash an entire army of evil spirits to rule the human world, only to find out when he pressed the play button. Recording of the ceremony has been changed into a pop song, and Malcolm's subsequent blow. He also knocked him to the ground hard. It turns out that Malcolm had expected it. Human weapons cannot harm demons. So he made two preparations before coming, and at this moment, the hand in his hand, it's the legendary artifact that can kill demons. Hammer of Zanzibar. This matter has to start from a week ago. Watching my friends die one after another. Malcolm guessed that this must be related to satanic rituals. Then, he went with his friend Miguel, who was still alive at the time, browsing in an antique store. That's the fourth friend in the photo. They try to find it in places like antique stores. Weapons that can fight demons. Fortunately, they asked about a random family. The boss there happened to have something like this. Turn out to be, the antique shop owner traveled around the world when he was young. And when he passed through Zanzibar, I heard there is a demon named Bobo Bawa here. Can reveal the truest side of human heart. It was out of curiosity. The antique shop owner secretly summoned him. Not until 3 days later, the devil appears for the first time. Then that night, the devil had an affair with the antique shop owner. Indescribable things, but what the antique shop owner didn't expect was that. I actually like this passive feeling. After that, he called him every day, but slowly he found that the other party started to be late. Later, I simply stopped coming, without any choice. The antique shop owner can only Add offerings. That evening, the devil is indeed coming, but he is obviously a lot more indifferent than before. He even started to lose his temper with the antique shop owner. Later, after inquiring, I found out. It turned out to be on that small island. Anyone who summons a demon will appear. It is no wonder he doesn't have time to deal with himself. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. To vent your dissatisfaction. So one night, after the devil is done with him, the owner of the antique shop took advantage of the other party's sleep. He raised the knife and cut off an important organ of the opponent. The devil wakes up screaming, "There was a lot of blood in my lower body." Then disappeared into the night. And it never appeared again. And the organ that he chopped off, it has become the most effective weapon against demons. Antique shop owner calls him Hammer of Zanzibar. See the miraculous true appearance. Malcolm and Miguel instinctively took a few steps back, because two people who are straight men, it is hard to accept using something like this as a weapon. Besides, I am not sure whether it will have any effect. At this time, my companion Miguel suddenly appeared abnormal. Not only did his eyes turn white, and he wanted to kill Malcolm. Crucial moment. Antique shop owner takes action in time, and he only used one hammer. Miguel was possessed and had half of his head knocked off. From this point of view, this warhammer can indeed be used against demons. With the support of warhammer, the demon zombie king has no resistance. The final battle, it actually became a unilateral murder by Malcolm. Soon the devil was beaten back to hell. The recording on the side is still playing, but the strange thing is, Malcolm clearly remembers. I have changed the recording to a popular song, but at this time, there were still sounds from the ceremony inside, followed by a return to reality. He discovered that the restaurant was not closed. The guests dining around are all real. It is just that those people have died in his hands. The police soon arrived at the scene and arrested him, but because those who died were all Latin Americans, in the end, the police determined that it was a gang fight. And Malcolm was acquitted. After all, white people will not embarrass white people. The story is over. Juan reminded the police again. Remind them that their pursuers will be here soon. If you still want to see your family, then it is not too late to let him go now. However, the words just fell. The lights start flashing. It is bright now, and the person who was chasing him, he has also arrived outside the police station. Chapter 6 Picture of Life and Death. This person is wearing a trench coat. The brim of the hat is still very low. However, he just used a simple gesture. You can control the police officers in the lobby to kill each other. After killing others, he swallowed the gun and committed suicide. Until this moment, the police officer in charge of the interrogation realized. It turns out that everything Juan said is true. And if you want to stop this, you have to get the holy killer as spear. That is the one kept in the government room. The police officers outside are still resisting, but even if the opponent is shot, it will not be affected at all. Even after the epidermis is broken, his true appearance is also revealed inside. Looks like a weird skull statue. And this is the picture of life and death that Juan mentioned earlier. Under the control of the other party, police officers keep killing each other. Until one came out with the holy killer. Although there is only one bullet, and it hasn't hit the mark yet, but the monster dissipated instantly after being shot. One knew that the other party could not just let it go, so he took advantage of the chaos and fled the police station. For hundreds of years, the pursuit of the killer never stops. They come from the forests of Argentina, chasing to the desert of Mexico. To avoid them, one could only keep walking. In this way, the saints who hunted him down, I can never catch up with him. This is the end of the plot of the film Latin America. In fact, after watching this plot, reminds me of the short video. A frequently asked hypothetical question. That is, if I give you 100 million, but there is an invincible snail, I will hunt you down forever. One in the movie. By mistake, I got an immortal body. Although he was hunted forever for this. But there is always enough time to get out of danger every time. It is just that this kind of life has gone too long. My heart should also be very tired. The film was shot by 5 directors, including the director of Ghost and Mystery. There are Easter eggs for him in the film. Also the director of the movie Nightmare Cinema. Someone among them is in Wenziran's Fatal Induction. Guest appearance as a security guard. Someone else played himself in the movie Blink. As for this female director, Fatal Video 85 is his work. In general, everyone has a unique style. But from my personal perspective, in these stories, 2 of them are really meaningless. Which story do you think is better? Okay, that's it for this issue. Thank you very much for sticking with me till now. What do you guys want to see? You can also leave a message to tell me. Of course, European and American horror movies are best. What about Asia? It is not that I don't like it. Mainly because I am afraid that you are too scared to look at it.